So I am waiting for my third train. I was supposed to take a direct train from Amsterdam to Apeldoorn. Train broke down. So now I got off here and I don't even know where I am. And then I have to switch trains again. It's been a little stressful, but the worst thing is it's fucking cold. Oh my God, my nose is running. It is so cold right now. Barely hanging on. I need to bring him down, right? I want him in this middle range where the arms are available, triangle chokes are available. His neck is right here. We can begin choking. If you guys come around a little bit, feel free to, so he needs to be in the middle range. If he's too low, especially if he's controlling my biceps, I don't have anything I can do. I have to begin swimming and, trying to clear those grips and do all that stuff. So how do I get him in that middle range, especially if he has some posture? Well, I need, first of all, to have strong legs. I need to be able to pull him and manipulate him. And so the stronger your legs can become so that you can pull and move. And sometimes that's not enough, especially if he has frames there, right? This can be very hard to deal with. His weight distribution is back, he's got frames. How can I collapse these frames to get him within a range that makes sense? One of the ways I can do that is get some connections. I need to be able to pull myself off the line and pull forward. So what I've done is I've moved myself to create an angle and then pull where he's weaker. If I'm pulling into his strength, right here, he's not going anywhere. So, but if I can pull to the side, now the neck is available, and maybe we'll do a fist choke just for fun. That's a fun little choke. It's right there. So let's play with this idea first of all. Your opponent is going to be postured up. Frames can either be this way, the staggered, or they can be both on the hips. Totally fine. Whatever works. They're both powerful. And then try pulling into it. If you can collapse them just by pulling this way, they have work to do. They need to get their frames worked out. But if their frames are good, even if I'm pulling with my legs, he's not going anywhere. So what do? I can use my legs to rock, right? This is powerful, this kind of movement. And then I go to the side and I pull him down. And now he's in a beautiful range. We can start attacking and doing whatever we want to do. So let's just start with that. Just that guard break. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let me clarify some things about the legs because I'm seeing some interesting things. What I want to do is, so the ability to do this is very important, but I don't necessarily want to create space. Some of you guys are doing this, and now you're way out here, and I have no leverage. I can't pull him down. So that's the first thing. You need to be able to move, retaining that strong connection. So I'm not going anywhere. All I'm doing is changing my relationship to Tom. I'm not moving myself away. That's number one. So let's get this motion down first. And then it's a timing thing. I'm going to move myself as I pull. And then you come in. So let's practice this first, just this movement. And this movement is actually great when I do need to create space. Sometimes, let's say I want to move myself out, but I don't want to lose control. And then we can come in and start playing open guard or something else. So sometimes you do want to move. Especially if you don't want to telegraph that you've opened your guard, right? Tom might not be able to tell if my guard's open or if it's closed, if you create that connection, and then we can use it. But this is very powerful, this motion. Whatever. There's so many options at that point. So let's tighten that up, okay? 1, 2, 3. A couple options. There's so many options. Once we get their posture down, so many options, choking options, arm options. So let's start with the frames though, because what happens usually is if I pull down, turn this way so we can see better. If I go to the side and pull down, there will always be a little gap right there. Because they're not going to lose the frames when they pull. The hands are going to stay there. So I come through, my pull. Look at this gap. I can shoot through. I want to just pull it into the crook of my neck right here. And now I can move myself out, come over the top, and we can get a straight arm lock right there, telephone arm lock. And then we get our pull. There's always that gap there. I'm going to feed. I'm just raising my shoulder until I can catch. And I need a strong pinch here because he might be trying to pull that arm out. And you need some control. This is not great control, but you need some control. If I'm not doing anything, he can pull out. No problem. But I want some control here. Number two is I need to pull myself all the way out and get to my side. I want to create a shelf underneath his shoulder and on top of his shoulder so I can pinch. And now it's like a little oblique crunch. You guys that go to the gym and do these silly things, I never do that. But and then you can crunch this way. Tap. And we get our tap. The key to making this work is really controlling it in your neck. So can you see? So we're here, hold in, feed it. As I come out, everything's tight. If I can get my bottom knee out, that's the best. It doesn't always have to be there if there's enough space. Yeah, even if he's holding, there's enough of a gap here. That's no problem. I can still get it just by coming here and getting the tap. That's number one. Number two is if you lose it, he starts to pull it out, that's okay. There's an Americana here. Now, he's going to posture. That's a great counter. So what I might want to do is come over the top, and then I can come and make it work. Now, it might not work if he's overwrapping that leg, if he's controlling the leg, which is probably why you're doing that, because you don't want me to get that leg out. So he's smart.
You hear it there.
So we come in. That's why if I can get this leg out preemptively, now if he comes in, I've got it. I can make that switch, and I can Americana right there. Or we have, all this stuff that we can get to. So let's just break the posture, shoot through, control it. As I climb out, if I can get that bottom knee out, that's the best. I can get my tap. If it comes out, I'm ready for it. It's just a very small movement. I already have the overhook. I catch the bottom. If I control the posture, maybe I can catch it. But usually they're going to try to posture up. That's okay. I come back and catch. And then we can get the finish right there. Cool? All right. 1, 2, 3. And since we're on guard, we'll just do one of my favorite chokes. And, I learned this probably as a blue belt. And as Tom can attest, sometimes you learn something very early in your jiu-jitsu journey, and it's something you keep trying with limited success, and then one day it sort of comes together, and sometimes you can't even quite tell what exactly you did, but your body intuitively figured out the mechanics of that thing and made it work. And this was a choke that was very low percentage, but I kept practicing, and now it's very high percentage for me. And it's so simple. You just put your fist in their neck.
We actually have a saying here: when in doubt, insert fist, everything.
Insert the fist. So what I want to do is, there's a soft spot in between the tendon and the trachea right here. There's a nice soft spot. And what I want are these front knuckles in there. Now, some people can do this choke by doing kind of a leopard paw grip where they're doing this. I'm not strong enough to do that. I have to do a real fist, but I'm still using the front knuckles. I'm not using the back knuckles. You might need to use the back knuckles. I don't know. For me, the front knuckles work. So I get my positioning based on my ability to put my knuckles right there. So it's here. I will turn it in like that. Now with this hand, I'm going to grab the far lapel. But what I really want to do to make this work is get off the line and straighten my arm, and then we can come in. And it's very easy choke when you have the positioning just right. If you're a little off, or if I'm using the flat side of my fist, that doesn't hurt as much. Or if I'm on the tendon, that doesn't hurt as much. It's really a precision move. So learn to kind of grab exactly in that place where your knuckles are going to be right where they need to be. Right there, right here. I'm going to turn, straighten this arm. And we get our tap. And if they make a face, you're doing it right. One last time.
Poker face.
Catch it, turn. You can't tell, but I'm using the front knuckles. I'm not using the back knuckles. So it's sort of like I'm doing this. It's like I'm sort of pushing in this way, even though it looks weird. It doesn't look very strong like that, but I want those front knuckles. So our positioning, turn, And it's right there. Basic fist stroke. Last of this set, and then we'll take a little break. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Cheers. I'm going to be extremely caffeinated this morning. You never know. I have this idea of being kind of a global citizen and a bit of an expat, just coming and going and building a life around training jiu-jitsu. Traveling,